Welcome back, everyone, to the Feminine Purpose Podcast. I'm your host, Trish. I am a relationship harmony and feminine soft skills expert and coach, and I help women like yourself navigate back home to your feminine nature so you can create and attract the relationship harmony you truly desire. I'm so excited to get into today's episode because I feel like it's a long time coming. Essentially, what we're going to be discussing today is what my entire brand, Feminine Purpose, really stands for. And I will share a quick little story as to why I feel like this is the time to do this episode. A lot of you ladies have been reaching out to me on social media ever since pretty much my TikTok, when my videos went, I guess what the young kids call viral. I don't know what constitutes as a viral video, but close to 1 million views, I guess, would constitute as a viral video according to Google. But a lot of you have been vulnerably sharing with me in my DMs, in my private messages, just the relationship challenges that you're all experiencing. All your stories really solidify for me what I already knew, that a lot of our problems are not unique to ourselves. We experience different life journeys and different walks of life. However, at the end of the day, we are all people and we are born a man or a woman. We are born male or female. And if you are heterosexual or you are in a heterosexual relationship, you run into quite a lot of the same shit that I run into, what people in my DMs are sharing with me vulnerably. So the tricky thing about being an expert in understanding gender is that almost immediately after listening to someone share their relationship challenges with me, or even in observing other relationships, I already can tell what is happening at the core. While there are many factors that come into play in a relationship, we are all human beings. We can take it down a notch. Stop thinking that you are the only one going through what you're going through. And this isn't to belittle your challenges. If anything, it should help uplift you and make you feel more at peace, knowing you are not alone. And a lot of us women with men are experiencing a lot of the same challenges and tribulation. Everyone may have differentiating factors. However, there are still some very clear, obvious themes and elements in male and female relationship dynamics that I will be discussing today, which is relationship polarity. What the fuck is even that? If you were to ask me a year ago, I wouldn't have even known what that meant. I've never heard of relationship polarity, but I will tell you ladies right now that as of today, all of the clients I have been working with are all experiencing challenges and issues that all stem from a lack of relationship polarity. And it's what I myself have experienced my entire life and have been with my partner. As you all know, I've been with my husband for going on 13 years next May, married for 4 as of last week. And we experience a lot of the same shit that y'all experience. We are not unique to everyone. I just happen to be vulnerably sharing with you all what I go through to support all of you women who are also experiencing similar issues. So in today's episode, again, we're going to talk about relationship polarity. I will discuss what the heck that even means, why it matters in a relationship, and how to know if you in your relationship either have a healthy polarity or do not have healthy polarity. So let's get into it. First things first, what exactly is relationship polarity? So in any successful relationship with an intimate connection and sexual attraction, regardless of your gender, there is polarity. So polarity in a relationship is the spark that occurs between two opposing energies, masculine and feminine. Gender does not necessarily mean that you are going to be in your mainly masculine or feminine energy, though oftentimes we cannot deny nature is very real and male and females have different kinds of hormones at play. So a majority of heterosexual couples, and we always like to talk average because we don't want to discuss outliers. We're focused on the majority. Most often, the man will truly thrive when he's in his masculine, and the woman will thrive more when she's in her feminine. To clarify, this doesn't mean that you need to always act a certain way 24/7 if you're the man or the woman. I think that's a very common misconception. When you think about yin yang, I've talked about this in the past few episodes, but when you think about yin yang, where in each side of yin and yang, there's still a small center of each side that comes from opposing, meaning if you are a man, you'll still have feminine qualities to a certain extent. And if you're a woman, you're still going to have male qualities, masculine qualities to a certain extent. But biologically speaking, male and female Humans, our hormones are different. The difference in their hormonal makeup means that women actually respond to stress quite differently than men. So, for example, where she is in her cycle of the month will directly influence how she responds to stress. Men, on the other hand, men don't have a monthly cycle, and instead, they actually experience a full testosterone cycle every 24 hours. So, their reset happens every day versus women have multiple phases over the course of a 28 to 35-day cycle because every woman has a bit of a different cycle, depending, but that's the average range, 28 to 35 days. So with that in mind, it is safe to fucking say men and women are somewhat different. We are equal people deserving of things in this world, and in a relationship, they both deserve equal rights and access to whatever their hearts desire, and they both deserve respect, love, and attention. However, equal rights is not equal 50-50. We bring the same things to the table type of shit. Because if you are both going to quite literally bring the same things to the table, why even bother getting married? Because you love each other? Okay, let's be real here. Yes, you love each other, but we humans are selfish creatures at the core. We need to survive. We survive better in a relationship. Literally, that's how our lineage and family will survive. If we do not procreate, it ends with us. So that in itself means a relationship is already a step towards survival. Even if you choose to be child-free, like my husband and I have been contemplating, it will be easier and more convenient for you to have a partner. So if we can accept and know that we want a lifelong partnership and relationship, then this episode is absolutely for you, sis, because I will be teaching you the importance of why having those two opposing energies and having different things that you and your partner bring to the table will create relationship polarity, which ultimately is a healthy dynamic to have in a relationship. Now that we've touched upon what exactly relationship polarity is, let's discuss why does this even matter? If you, again, are in a heterosexual relationship like myself, there's a very high chance you probably don't have relationship polarity. And I'm not being a Debbie Downer. I'm just calling out the facts because, again, this is my specialty. I've lived and breathed it. I observe a lot of couples. I stay on top of research. I literally live and breathe this topic. And it is a common theme in most modern day relationships that, especially here in America, especially I always say in higher earning metro cities of America, there's a very high chance you and your partner do not have relationship polarity. Remember, relationship polarity is when there are two opposing energies. A relationship should have two opposing energies, again, like yin yang. Sometimes the man will have to be a little feminine and the woman will be in her masculine. That's 100% normal. However, if there is no balance and home energy that each person essentially reverts to more than 50% of the time, y'all are experiencing a lack of harmony and a lack of polarity, a lack of healthy polarity. And there is now this unhealthy discord and dynamic. And it's no wonder you're having issues you all are experiencing and leaving comments on my videos about and DMing me about and reaching out for some support. You're not alone. This shit is prevalent everywhere. Again, I say this from firsthand experience. If you have been in this inner circle for some time now, you know that I spent the majority of my life operating from a very wounded feminine space. I had no idea what it meant to be safe in my body, in myself, to be a receiving feminine energy. I was always acting super hyper independent and very masculine. I emasculated essentially every guy I've ever dated. I made excuses for it and unknowingly had a victim mindset. If you don't know what a victim mindset is, check out my episode. I believe should be 2 episodes prior to this one where I talk about that. Tune into that first episode of mine as well if you've not heard my story and journey going from a wounded feminine space to a more healthy one. If this episode and some of what I'm talking about is starting to resonate, you likely will relate with that first episode. So why even get married if you two are going to fight for the same energy more than 50% of the time? Polarity matters because time and time again, when I see couples arguing, I see couples on the brink of divorce, I see couples, wanting to get help, therapy, wanting to separate, having sexless marriages, etc. Just look at all the celebrity couples, maybe even your own parents and any of your couple friends. You will see oftentimes these days in modern times, the woman is trying to constantly fill a masculine space and the man in the relationship is then forced essentially cornered to be in a more feminine energy. This kind of duo can be due to many different reasons. Sometimes maybe the man was initially very masculine and then over time he kept kind of slowly giving into his lady and she over time took that energy. Oftentimes, maybe the woman was already masculine from the get-go and she attracts these more beta, soft type of boys from the start. And frankly, this guy was probably never modeled healthy masculinity or else he would never put himself in that kind of situation from the get-go. Regardless of the reason, the reality is that these couples are now stuck in this dynamic. And the sad part is, more often than not, they don't even know what the crux of the problem is. They're completely unaware of what is happening. And I firmly believe life is full of harmony and balance. And when there is no balance in this life, that is not good, ladies. I'm telling you right now, it's not good. I've been there. You want to avoid this at all costs. These couples may be fooling themselves now while they're young that it's okay for the guy to be emasculated. It doesn't add up to much. It's all good. Or it's okay if the woman always feels exhausted, doing everything, feeling overworked in her relationship. But I'm telling you, again, time and time again, it's not going to work. I just want you all to avoid the trap of thinking that nurture is going to precede nature. Because our true feminine nature will always deep down crave and desire a man to be the opposing force and energy for us. Again, if not, then we would marry our girlfriends or we would be lesbians. And even then, in non-heterosexual relationships, there still is polarity needed. Look, ladies, if shit hits the fan, I want my man to be able to fight and protect me. Sometimes I want him to be my cuddle buddy. Don't get me wrong. I want him to listen to my feelings and be sweet and take care of me. But push comes to shove, I want him to be a fucking man. A man wants his woman then to also return the opposing energy, be providing him peace, love, and serenity in a world of war, in a world of trash shit going on everywhere. He will understand that if his female partner needs to be a leader at work or exemplify masculine qualities elsewhere, she will flex to that masculine energy because it's what's required. But he also knows that she will transition out of that at home and he will be making her feel safe to do so. He will help facilitate that environment for her. She is his safe space. She is his home. She is his purpose. She breathes life into him. This is why polarity and relationship harmony is so fucking vital. So now that we've touched on what relationship polarity is and why it matters for couples, let's now talk about how to know if you do not have relationship polarity. If you're a man listening, a few ways you might know is if you often or always feel emasculated, powerless, disrespected, or no longer desired by your wife or girlfriend, aka she doesn't want to fuck you anymore. If you're a woman listening, a few ways you may know is if you often or always feel exhausted, disappointed, resentful, or no longer attracted to your man, again, aka you don't want to fuck him anymore. I have spent most of my life in relationships that did not have healthy polarity, and my husband and I definitely have more relationship polarity now and relationship harmony. I will now share with you all very specific ways that may signal to you that you do not have polarity in your relationship. The woman is always making big decisions and the man just goes along with it. The woman makes comments in public that either demean, put down, or just have a negative flair or tone to it when she talks to her husband or about her partner. The woman is usually telling her man what to do in public. The man may seem less happy and at peace around his partner, and his shine is kind of dimmed when he's around her as opposed to when he's around other people. Maybe the man doesn't show affection to her anymore. The man may follow a lot of social media thoughts or even worse, publicly like or comment on sexual posts on social media. If the man maybe watches porn more than has sex with his partner. For this one, I will say, couples may experience periods of disconnect and maybe sometimes they're just not as intimate. But if overall the baseline is that the man does tend to watch porn or masturbate more than have sex with his partner over the period of their relationship, and she is there physically and wanting to have sex with him, that's an issue. The man maybe deep down wishes his partner would have sex with him more. And even worse, the man has told his female partner they're not having sex enough and she does not care to meet his sexual needs. And if she does care, she's not putting in that effort to show that. And Another way to know, she's respectful to everyone in public, yet she has a different tone or demeanor when she's talking to her man in public. These are just a few examples, but if you find yourself identifying with even just a few of these, I would say it's a sign that it's very, very likely that your relationship does not have healthy polarity in it and there is likely disharmony happening. Again, the good news is that you're not alone. I have been through this, and while not every single thing I listed I have firsthand experience with, I've experienced a lot of what I just shared. This has become the common standard average relationship in 2023, y'all, especially again in these metro cities in America where women are earning as much as, or if not more than, their partners. However, just because the woman out earns her partner doesn't mean that she's now the man in the relationship, okay? Don't let it fool you, baby girls. That's what maybe society and feminism is teaching you, but it's not true. You are never gonna be a man. Quite literally, you're never gonna be a man. So just accept that now, and there is nothing fucking wrong with it because being a woman is amazing. Again, I have been in your shoes. I know what it's like to want so much more out of my partner and our dynamic and blame it all on him. And then I had this epiphany. What if I just worked on myself and returned home to my feminine nature? I will invoke the change. I quite literally told myself, we need to make a change. And I knew deep down, if I worked on this, I would be ultimately creating and attracting polarity in my relationship. Just this week, my husband texted me in the morning telling me he loves our new dynamic. He's so much more in love with me than ever before. And I was fucking crying. I mean, it was the time of the month and I'm really emotional during that time ever since I got off the hormonal birth control. And I'll do an episode on that. I posted on my Instagram and I know some of you were like, yes, talk about it in the journey. So I definitely will. It's on the list. Don't worry. But never in my wildest dreams, ladies, did I think that we could have the dynamic that we have. I thought we were doomed, that we'd be stuck, that I'd be stuck, that he'd be stuck in these ways. And then I became an expert and created feminine purpose for myself and for you all here in the inner circle. And I essentially really want to make this a movement of us women coming back home to our feminine nature to bring harmony into our romantic relationships and bring back fucking romance. Ladies, it is completely possible to be the change you wish to see in your relationship. You can be that first domino in the domino effect of shifting the dynamic and moving towards polarity in your relationship. I have a few spots left for my one-on-one coaching mentorship program where I will help you identify specific areas in your relationship that we will work on together and hold you accountable to make sure you're making strides in achieving that relationship harmony you deeply want. That's it for today's episode. To recap, we discussed what is relationship harmony, the opposing energies of masculine and feminine. We talked about why polarity is so important and how it can either really make or break a relationship. And last but not least, we talked about how to know if you may not have harmony and healthy polarity in your relationship. I hope this one was super useful. I know I would have loved listening to this type of episode and content when I was stuck in my old ways and mindsets. I will catch you all in the next episode.